Hello, my dear friend. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into your bathroom and thought to yourself, how did it get this messy again? You are not alone. And if the idea of bending over the tub or scrubbing tiles leaves you feeling tired just thinking about it, I want to offer you something different today. A way that is calm, easy, and gentle. You see, your bathroom should be a place of comfort and safety, not another space on the never-ending to-do list, not a place that makes you feel worn out before you have even started. Today I want to share with you 8 small habits that can completely change the way your bathroom feels, without harsh scrubbing, without long hours of cleaning, and without putting stress on your body. Because you deserve a home that takes care of you, and it starts with the space you use every day. Let us begin. 1. The 1-minute habit that changed everything. It started with something so small, I almost didn't think it would matter. Just 1 minute, right after brushing my teeth. I would take a soft cloth, or sometimes just the towel I had used to dry my hands, and gently wipe down the sink and counter. No sprays, no scrubbing. Just a simple swipe to remove the little drops of water, the toothpaste splatter, or whatever else had settled there during the day. At first, I did it without thinking, but within a few days, I noticed something surprising. The sink never looked messy anymore. The countertop stayed clean. And best of all, I never had to do those long, tiring deep cleans that used to leave me sore and frustrated. I shared this with my friend Joan, who is in her 70s. She told me that before she used to wait until the mess became too much, and then spent nearly an hour bending over, scrubbing hard, just to feel like her bathroom was decent again. But now, she wipes it down for 1 minute each evening and hasn't looked back since. You see, when we take care of something gently and consistently, it doesn't have a chance to become a problem. That's the beauty of this habit. It saves your energy, protects your back, and brings a little sense of peace to your routine. And it's not just about cleanliness. It's about how it feels to wake up and see a tidy space waiting for you. That little calm moment can set the tone for the whole day. So tonight, after you brush your teeth, give this a try. 1 soft cloth, 1 minute, that's all. But the difference it brings, that might just surprise you. 2. The shower upgrade that gave me control again. A few years ago, I found myself struggling more than usual to clean the shower. The walls, the corners, the tub, they all seemed harder to reach. I was twisting, bending, stretching just to rinse away the soap scum. And more than once, I nearly lost my balance doing it. That was a wake-up call. I knew something had to change. Then one day, over coffee, my friend Linda mentioned how her son had installed a removable shower head for her. She has arthritis in her hands and told me it gave her back a sense of control. Not just for cleaning, but for showering too. So I got one myself. And from the very first use, I understood what she meant. With a removable shower head, I could direct the water exactly where I needed it. No more trying to fill cups or drag heavy buckets just to rinse the tub. I could clean the corners, the tile, even under the faucet, all while standing comfortably and safely. But here's the part I did not expect. It made showering easier too. When my back feels sore, I can aim the warm water right at the spot that needs it. When I wash my hair, I no longer get water in my eyes. It's a small thing, but it feels like care. And when my grandkids come over, they actually like it. It makes bath time simpler for them and safer for me. If you're still using a fixed shower head, I want you to know, switching doesn't have to be hard. A neighbor helped me install mine, but you could also ask a handyman or a family member. It takes just a few minutes, and the benefits last every single day. For older adults like us, anything that reduces risk and increases ease is worth thinking about. This little change made my bathroom safer, cleaner, and more comfortable. And the truth is, when we feel more in control, we feel more confident, even in the smallest routines. 3. The little basket that ended my cleaning battles. There was a time, a Not too long ago, when just getting ready to clean the bathroom left me tired, I'd have to go to the kitchen to get the spray bottle, then over to the laundry room for gloves. The cloths? Maybe in the hallway closet, if they were even clean. By the time I gathered everything, I already felt worn out. So I made one small change that truly shifted everything. I created a simple, lightweight cleaning caddy just for the bathroom. Nothing fancy, just a small basket I could carry with one hand. Inside, I placed a vinegar and water spray bottle, a few disposable wipes, one soft microfiber cloth, a gentle scrubbing brush, and a pair of gloves. That's it. I tucked it into the cabinet under the sink, at waist height, so I wouldn't have to bend or reach to get it. Now, if I see a watermark on the faucet or a bit of toothpaste on the counter, I don't wait. I just reach in, grab what I need, and take care of it right then. No build-up, no hour-long scrubbing sessions. And here's the unexpected part. It gave me a sense of calm. Having everything in one spot, ready to go, made me feel more in control, more prepared, and less likely to avoid the task out of frustration. One of my friends visited not long ago and said, "Your bathroom always looks so fresh. How do you do it?" I just smiled and told her, "It's not magic, it's just a little basket." She made one of her own the very next week. So if cleaning ever feels overwhelming, or if gathering supplies is half the battle, I encourage you to try this. Keep it simple, keep it close, and give yourself the gift of ease. Because keeping your bathroom clean should never feel like a workout. It should feel like a gentle part of taking care of yourself. 4. Ditch the soap scum for good. Soap scum was something I used to fight with constantly. It would build up along the tub, cling to the walls of the shower, and leave that cloudy film on the sink. No matter how often I cleaned, it always came back. And scrubbing it? That was the worst part, especially on days when my hands were sore or my energy was low. Then I discovered something simple that made that problem disappear almost overnight. I stopped using bar soap. Now, I know that might sound small, and if you're like me, you probably grew up with bar soap. It smells good, it lasts a long time, it feels familiar. But here's what I didn't realize for years. When bar soap mixes with hard water, it creates a chalky buildup. That's what we call soap scum. So I switched to a gentle liquid soap, and just like that, the difference showed up. No more film on the sink, no more stubborn residue on the shower walls. The surfaces looked fresher, stayed cleaner longer, and best of all, I wasn't spending my time scrubbing anymore. It wasn't just about convenience, it was about safety too. Because that soap buildup, it can make surfaces slippery, which increases the risk of falling, something none of us want to take lightly as we get older. If you love your bar soap, I understand. But even switching just in the bathroom or using body wash instead can make a huge difference. And if you live in an area with hard water, this change might be even more helpful than you realize. It's one of those quiet shifts, something small you barely notice, that ends up saving you time, effort, and even a little worry. Because sometimes the best way to do less is to simply use better. 5. Close the lid before you flush. I used to think it didn't really matter. I would flush the toilet and move on with my day, just like most people do. But then I read something that honestly stopped me in my tracks. It was about something called a toilet plume. That's what scientists call the tiny, invisible droplets that rise into the air every time you flush, if the lid is up. These droplets can carry bacteria and other particles. They float into the air and settle on nearby surfaces, your sink, your counter, even your toothbrush. When I pictured that, it made my skin crawl a little. I had spent years cleaning the bathroom, wiping down mirrors, disinfecting handles, organizing shelves, and all the while, I was letting bacteria spread through the air without realizing it. From that day forward, I changed one simple habit. I started closing the toilet lid before flushing. It takes no time at all, just a small, calm motion of the hand. But the effect? It's real. Since then, I've noticed fewer water spots on the counter, the mirror stays cleaner, and best of all, I feel like my bathroom is just a little healthier. It's the kind of change you don't see right away, but over time, you feel it. And it's not just about germs, though that alone is reason enough. It also creates a more peaceful look. A closed lid makes the bathroom feel more tidy, more intentional, more cared for, especially when guests visit. I remember one holiday when my grandkids came to stay. After a few days, I noticed the mirror was speckled with little dots, and the sink seemed to need cleaning more often. Then it clicked. The kids were forgetting to close the lid before flushing, so I gently showed them how and explained why. By the next evening, everything stayed noticeably cleaner. It reminded me that many of the habits we build in our home are not just for ourselves. They're for the people we love. They're for the quiet care that makes a house feel like a home. And here's something I think is important. As we grow older, our energy becomes more precious. The fewer times we have to scrub, disinfect, and wipe things down, the more energy we have for the things that really matter, like resting, enjoying a good book, or spending time with family. This habit is one of those that gives you more in return than you put in. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to learn a new skill. You just close the lid. It's a moment of mindfulness, a pause, a gesture of care for your health, your space, and your peace of mind. So the next time you reach for the handle, I invite you to try it. Gently lower the lid first. Let that simple act speak volumes about how much you value your home, your well-being, and yourself. 6. Say goodbye to that moldy curtain. Let's talk about something we have all seen and probably sighed at. That dark line creeping along the bottom of the shower curtain. Sometimes it's black, sometimes pink, always unpleasant. I used to believe it was just part of life, a small nuisance we had to scrub, soak, or eventually replace. For years, I fought with mine. I would take it down, let it soak in bleach, hang it outside to dry. It was tiring, messy, and often left my hands smelling like chemicals for hours. One day I thought, there has to be a better way. And there was. What changed everything for me was a habit so simple, I almost didn't believe it at first. Once a month, just once, I take a small spray bottle, fill it with a mixture of water and a small cap full of bleach, and spray the bottom edge of the curtain. The part that stays damp and gets the least airflow. That's it. I don't scrub. I don't remove the curtain. I don't even wait around. I spray, then walk away. The next time I shower, the water rinses it off naturally. No extra effort, no more awkward leaning over the tub, no more sore shoulders. Since I began this, I haven't seen a single spot of mold. Not one. The curtain looks clean, smells fresh, and best of all, it no longer reminds me of all the chores I haven't done. There's something deeply comforting about walking into your bathroom and seeing everything in its place. Nothing hiding, nothing rotting in the corners. It gives a sense of control, of calm. And I believe we all deserve that feeling, no matter our age. Now, I understand that not everyone wants to use bleach. If that's the case, white vinegar works too. It's more natural, though you may need to spray it a little more often. Either way, the goal is the same. Stay ahead of the problem so it never becomes one. What's beautiful about this habit is that it removes a stress point quietly. You don't have to schedule a cleaning day. You don't have to dread lifting heavy curtains or getting down on your knees. It just becomes part of your routine, easy, reliable, invisible in the best way. One of my neighbors, Carol, told me she hadn't realized how much mental space that curtain had been taking up. Once she started the spray habit, she said her bathroom felt lighter, like a small weight had been lifted. It's amazing how something so simple can change how we feel. And maybe that's the heart of this. It's not about having a perfect bathroom. It's about giving yourself peace of mind, giving yourself a moment of ease, a break from worry, a little more comfort in your day. So if your curtain has ever made you sigh or shake your head, I invite you to try this. 1 bottle, 1 spray, once a month. 7. The bath mat that made me feel safe again. There's something we often overlook in the bathroom, not because it's not important, but because it's so familiar, we forget to question it. I'm talking about the bath mat. For years, I used those soft, fluffy ones. You know the kind. Thick, warm, like stepping onto a cozy rug after a hot shower. I loved them. They felt comforting. But over time, I noticed something. The mat never quite dried. Every day, it soaked up water, day after day, week after week. And what started as comfort began to feel damp. Then came the smell, a little musty, a little sour, and soon after, the mold. But the real turning point came one morning when I stepped out of the shower and felt my foot slide. Just a little. Nothing serious happened, but in that split second, I realized something very important. I was depending on something unsafe because it was familiar. That afternoon, I made a change. I went online and ordered a simple rubber-based, quick-drying anti-slip mat. It wasn't expensive, it wasn't fancy, but it was one of the best decisions I've made for myself in years. Here's what I love about it. First, it grips the floor. Even when it's wet, it doesn't shift. That alone gave me a huge sense of security. No more guessing where I'd land when I stepped out. Second, it dries quickly. No more damp spots, no more trapped moisture, no more odor. I give it a quick rinse every couple of weeks and spray it with a little white vinegar and water. That's it. It stays clean, fresh, and safe. I didn't realize how much tension I was holding in my body every time I stepped out of the shower until that tension was gone. With the new mat, I felt steady, sure, at ease. And that kind of peace is something we deserve more of, not less, as we age. What surprised me most was how much safer my bathroom felt overall. I wasn't tracking water across the floor anymore. The air felt drier, cleaner, and when my grandkids visited, I didn't worry about them slipping and falling. They're always running around, full of energy, and now I can let them be, knowing the floor won't betray them. One of my neighbors, Hank, switched to a rubber mat last winter. A few weeks later, he told me, "I didn't even know how anxious I was before. Now I just step out and go about my day." That's what we're really talking about here. Not just mats or floors, but freedom. The freedom to move without fear. The freedom to trust the ground beneath you. So if you're still using a traditional fabric bath mat, I say this gently but firmly. It might be time for a change. This small switch can protect your body, reduce your chores, and give you more peace each day. And sometimes, it's the things beneath our feet that help us feel grounded in the truest sense of the word. 8. The toilet paper switch that helped my bathroom stay fresh. Toilet paper. It's one of those things we use every day without really thinking about it. We buy what's on sale, or we reach for the brand we've used for years. It seems simple, right? But a few months ago, I noticed something odd. No matter how often I wiped down the bathroom surfaces, the toilet tank, the countertop, even the shelves, there was always this fine layer of dust. It wasn't the usual kind from open windows or tracked-in shoes. It was something lighter, constant, persistent. At first, I blamed it on the ventilation. I even cleaned out the fan. Still, the dust came back. Then, while reading a Home Tips newsletter one morning, I saw a small line that stopped me. It said, "Traditional toilet paper made from wood pulp often sheds tiny fibers every time you tear it." Tiny fibers. That was my aha moment. I realized that every time I pulled a few sheets off the roll, I was releasing tiny paper particles into the air. Particles too small to see, but not too small to settle. Over time, they collected on the tank, the sink, and the floor, making everything look a little dirtier, a little older, a little more neglected than it actually was. And so, I made a change. I switched to bamboo toilet paper. Now, if you've never used bamboo toilet paper before, let me tell you, it's different in the best way. The fibers are smoother. The paper is soft but strong. It doesn't break apart the same way traditional paper does, which means no shedding, no floating dust, and fewer tiny particles settling on every surface in the room. I started using it out of curiosity. But within just a few days, I noticed something real. The dust? Gone. I wasn't wiping down the tank every 3 days anymore. The counter stayed clean longer. Even the air in the bathroom felt fresher, lighter, less heavy. It wasn't just about cleaning, though that was a huge plus. It was about how the space felt, calmer, quieter, like the bathroom was finally able to breathe. And the benefits didn't stop there. Most bamboo toilet papers are made without harsh chemicals. No bleach, no synthetic fragrances, no added dyes. That means they're better for sensitive skin. And if you've noticed your skin getting more delicate as you age, you'll understand why that matters. They're also more sustainable. Bamboo grows quickly. It requires less water and fewer pesticides than traditional trees. So by making the switch, I wasn't just doing something good for my home. I was doing something better for the planet. But here's what truly sold me. There was nothing extra I had to do. No spraying, no wiping, no cleaning trick. Just one simple change in the kind of toilet paper I bought, and the results showed up on their own. It's funny, isn't it, how something so small can make such a big difference. When I told my friend Helen about it, she was skeptical, but she gave it a try. The next time we had coffee, she leaned in and whispered, "I haven't wiped down my bathroom shelves in 2 weeks, and they're still clean." We laughed, but she wasn't joking, and neither am I. This is one of those habits that works quietly in the background. You don't think about it. You don't even notice it, really. But it's working for you every single day, keeping your space a little cleaner, your air a little purer, and your routine a little simpler. That, to me, is what wise living is all about. Doing less, but getting more. Letting your choices support you gently and consistently. And creating an environment that feels like it's truly working with you, not against you. So if you've never tried bamboo toilet paper, I invite you to give it a shot. Maybe just one roll to start. See how it feels. Notice what changes. Because sometimes the smartest choices are the ones you barely notice, the ones that remove stress without adding effort, and the ones that help you feel just a little more at home, in your own home. And there we have it. 8 small habits, each one gentle, practical, and designed to bring more peace and ease into your daily life. Let's take a moment to remember them. A quick 1-minute wipe after brushing your teeth. A removable shower head that gives you comfort and control. A simple cleaning caddy within arm's reach. Liquid soap to cut down on scrubbing and soap scum. Closing the toilet lid before flushing to keep surfaces clean. A monthly spray to keep your shower curtain mold-free. A non-slip bath mat to protect your steps. And bamboo toilet paper to help your bathroom stay fresh and dust-free. None of these habits take much time. Most take only seconds, but together they create a space that feels lighter, safer, and more supportive. The kind of home that looks after you, just as you've spent your life looking after others. This isn't about perfection, it's about peace of mind. So if even one of these ideas spoke to you today, I hope you'll give it a try. And if you know someone, a friend, a neighbor, a family member, who might find comfort in these habits too, please share this with them, because we're all learning together, and the more we support each other, the more we can enjoy this season of life with strength, calm, and grace. Thank you truly for spending your time with me.